Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So yesterday I started on all the rest of the hair coming down here, and I think it mostly looks good. I just realized when I took a look at the right turn that over here was not moving with everything else. It was staying mostly still, and I feel like I should move this a little bit more to the right. But everything else I think looks good. Very relieving, because working with that area is kind of a pain. So I was very glad to see that I probably was not going to have to do any more. So I can just jump right into the corners. But yes, I think I remember pulling this back just a tad in order to have these spots overlap a bit better, but maybe it's not necessary. It's okay. Might have to pull a few shenanigans, but I'll figure it out when the time comes. For now, I'm just gonna move that over to where I think it should be, and then I can figure out what to do with the layer underneath. 'Cause yeah, I think that's much better. Okay. I think I have to worry about the layer underneath before I can properly straighten it out, though, so let's see what I can do here. Can I just tug this under? Here's hoping. I'm not convinced, but I'm gonna do my best. Yeah, and here is actually where things start showing up over there, so I probably have to keep it like that. But this might be fine. Yeah, I could see this being fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. Okay. Cool. I was worried that was going to be a whole thing, but it just worked out. It's nice when that happens. So now I'll just straighten this out a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. Get rid of some of those spots that are a little bit crunchier. I just wanted to do some quick and dirty movements at the beginning to get things into place, because I wasn't even sure if I was going to like this change. But I think it looks good. So we're keeping it. And with that, it looks like I can get into the corners, because that does look better. Perfect. Alright, let's do lower left first. Okay. Yep, that's, something that happened. I'm not sure how this happened, but it sure did. I'm guessing that's just how things shook out with where this strand of hair was before I moved it all, and now this just looks nonsensical. Okay. Well, let's knock some sense back into this hair. Get it to where it needs to go. It's like I figured this top part is actually going to be the easy part, so... Yeah, and I have a little bit of verticality to fix here, because it feels like this kind of lighter area where it's transitioning from purple to white is a little bit higher in my lower left than it is in my bottom turn, so I need to fix that too. Now that I've gotten rid of the obvious problem that just made me laugh, let's do some of these more subtle things. Okay, that's pretty wrinkly, but I want to see if it's the right point vertically. Okay, I think it needs just a tad more work here. Just a couple of other spots along this strand are not quite agreeing with me, relative to the bottom turn at least. I just want to push it just a teeny tiny bit lower. Just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, that seems pretty good, but I do see a point up here where things are squirming a little bit. I think some vertices just got slid upward just a little. So I'll go ahead and push them down. Just some minor things that I apparently missed when working on this area before. They happen. It's all good. Okay, yeah, that seems much better. Alright. So now I can get back down into here. The first thing I need to do is clean up this line just a little bit. Also trying to work out its angles and all that kind of thing, because with the way I moved it, this part sticks out a little bit more than I think it should. It's probably contributing to why it got a little bit crunchy. So I'll pull this back over here a little bit. But I'm happy because now that color that shows up when it's transitioning from purple into white is at the right height. So all is well there. Now I just gotta get this dark line running through there. All nice and smooth. After that, I'll be ready to get back into this highlight. I think that's okay. I'm gonna check it. It doesn't look too bad when I zoom out, but I want to check to make sure that it's moving right. I think that particular strand is actually a little bit important. So I want to make sure it moves very nicely. It's one of those areas that I think makes her head look a little bit more 3D. So I do want to make sure that it's in the right place. I think I actually want to push it down just a tad more. Just a teeny tiny bit. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I think I can be happy now. So now I want to do the same thing, but with this... the top part of the highlight and that weird dark part that just shows up. Because I noticed that on my lower right turn, it gets a little bit squished. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. Yeah, and I see that I probably have a lot to do on the lower right, so... admittedly, not looking forward to that. But for now, I'll just work on this top part. I'm just lining things up vertically rather than getting the whole thing down, and I always find it easier to manage when I do both ends at once. This way I can just slide her head back and forth, and if it still looks good, then I'm doing something right. That's about how I feel about it. Okay, I think this side's good, so now I'm gonna do the same on the other side real quick. Just so I can swing her head back and forth happily and make myself happy. And I feel like a lot of these vertices got pushed up really high. This does not seem right. But I guess I'll be digging into that a little bit later. For now, I am only concerned about this top part. It is too high and too squished. The rest will come when it is time to work on that strand in earnest. Okay, moved it too low. Okay, I don't think that's quite the right place, but, like, there's another slightly lighter spot right through here, and I think I want to line that up vertically as well, because I see here it's at about this height, and over here it's a little bit lower, and then over here it's a lot lower, so that tells me that I need to line those up a little bit too. Just all these little colors, the colors around the transition. So I'll raise things up a little bit here. And I just want to line up all these little details vertically before I start worrying about how it looks up against the left head turn. I just find it a little bit easier to do things in this order. Okay, that seems fine. Now I'll do the same thing over here. Looks like I might need to adjust here a little bit as well. Something about it looks a little bit off to me. Maybe floof it out just a bit more. Make it just a little bit rounder. I think that's the right idea, but not exactly the right place. Can I get away with just moving that whole area very slightly to the right? Let's find out. Just all of this. All of this right here. Very, very slightly to the right. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Much like with this area here that I was correcting at the beginning, it looks like something about how I did this before just pushed it too far to the left, so it didn't look like it was moving with her head. So that's worth taking a look at. I should probably actually check the right turn for that too. Okay, no, this still lines up. That's good. But there is some of that quality here too, so I think I'm also going to move the strand in the right turn just a little bit further to the right. So this way it moves with the head a little bit more clearly. Gonna have to straighten all that up, that's fine. I can do that. Guess it makes sense that this strand would be a little bit straighter at this angle, because it's facing more towards us now. Whereas over here, we see it kind of draping gently off to the side. So we see, like, this as a separate piece. Whereas over here, this part should be covering this area a little bit more. And so now this part that was kind of coming out is now coming towards us. At least, that's kind of how I see it in my head. So it makes sense that this would be a little bit straighter. So let's embrace it. Let's make it a little bit straighter. I'll keep a slight curve to it, just because I think it looks nice. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit straighter. I will probably have to fix that in the upper right too. That's fine. I will do that when I get there. Okay, and now I can just start moving things along. Okay. Yeah, I think I actually like that a little bit more than what I had before. So this seems good. Sometimes it really does take just digging into the corners to figure out something. After all of these angles have to work together. Okay, and now I just keep going. Now that I think that the top is looking good, I can bring all this all the way to the end, make sure it's smooth, and then do the same on my lower right turn while I'm working on that. And while I'm here, I also want to make sure that this and the color transition that I've been working on in my lower turns is lined up properly up here in my middle ones. Yeah, I don't really get the impression that it's sliding up and down. This is too low, though. The bottom part of the strand, too low. Needs to come up a little bit. So I'll just very gently raise all of this up. It was actually pretty significantly too low, so I'm moving it a bit more than I normally do. If I used it just teeny tiny baby steps every time, I'd be here for hours, so... As far off as it is, I think it's fine to just raise it a lot. Almost. Just a little lump right through here that I want to get rid of. Make sure it's all nice and smooth through there. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct, but let's see how it looks so far. Let me at least make sure that I have the height right. Yep, height is much better now. Okay. I actually do think this is pretty close, but there's just a little lump right here, and it's bothering me, and I don't like it. So that is a perfect reason to go in and make it just right. Oh, it's still right there. Now it's right here. It's just not cooperating with me. Sometimes strands are like that, though. It's fine. I'll win in the end. I'll get it. They can throw as many tantrums as they like, but I will get it in the end. Okay, now it's right through there. So now I just gotta line it up with all the stuff down here too. Okay. Yeah, I think that's alright. A little wiggle there doesn't really bother me. I think that's fine. Okay, there we go. All is well. Now then, back down here. I might need to change some things to line it all up with that, but that is to kind of be expected. I think it's for the best. And indeed, mostly I just need to get rid of this little lump right there. I actually think that should make this whole area look better. You know, when I was working in this area the first time, the fact that I had to make a weird lump like that should have told me that maybe something was slightly off there. Okay. I want to make sure that that part lines up the way that I want it to with both of these angles before I move on, because this is an area that I have largely declared finished, as opposed to the area below here. So I am making it so that having it actually be finished is the top priority here. I don't want my brain to be convinced that this part is done and then be surprised when I see something is off a little bit later. So I just want to get it done. Getting everything done, one piece at a time. Here I'm just kind of more evenly spacing out the vertices, so that this way I can safely pull it where it gets a little bit more blue. A little bit higher up here. Okay. This whole area is a bit of a mess, but once again, I'm just going to keep lining things up vertically for the time being. And I will worry about lining things up with my right head turn later. But I do want to line everything up vertically for the time being. That means this needs to come over here a bit, and this needs to be just a touch higher. There we go. So getting this spot right here, and then this spot right here. Okay. So I got that spot up there, and now I can get the lower of the two. This one right over here. Once again, just trying to make the vertices fairly evenly spaced. That generally gets good results. Okay, and there's stuff over here too. This is too low. Gotta look at it one more time, actually. Okay. It's like if I'm ever not sure, just take another quick look, and generally the path becomes a little bit more clear. And what I need to fix. Well, this is proving to be more of an adventure than I thought it would, but that's okay. Here we are. It should look pretty good once I'm all done. So far, I do enjoy how it's turning out. Once again, I'm making sure that the transition from purple to white, just all of that is in a good spot. And that everything here is pretty smooth. That we have a nice little curve, doing nice little curve things. Because I do enjoy my nice little curves. They make me happy. Okay, now that's looking pretty straight all the way through, but still has nice little curve quality because of right up here. Okay, I think it might still be just a tad low on this side. So let's go ahead and raise this up just a little bit here. It's just a tad low. I don't want to send this one up too high. Let me see if I can straighten that out just a tad there. It's like I don't mind a little bit of crunch in this area. I think it's kind of inevitable, but that is kind of pushing it. Okay, that seems fine. Well, maybe no it doesn't. Nah, right here is still a little bit too wavy. Just a little bit too wavy. Alright, I think that is good. I've gotten all those parts lined up now. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back to digging in over here. Is there anything else that I want to adjust vertically here? Yes, this strand. So, we'll do that all the way across, once again. And I just want to bring, like, the whole thing up just a little bit here. I think I remember touching this area on the left turn as well, so I'm not surprised that it is a little bit off in the lower left as well. It's okay. I think just a few gentle movements should get it to do exactly what I want. Yep. Perfect. And this side is fine. Okay, I am gonna have to adjust this area vertically. I don't think I'm quite ready to get into the strands yet. So I'd say this part is ready to be lined up perfectly. So yeah, I feel like most of these highlights are in decent spots. This one might be a little bit high, but not much. Yeah, so I think that this part is ready to just be finely adjusted, and I can start getting everything where it needs to go. Okay. Good. So this means I have the basics down on both sides. And now I can actually start worrying about all the shapes and angles and all those little things that still need a lot of adjustment. This area, I can already tell, needs to come, like, way out here. It was quite curved, and I need it to be very straight. So I'm gonna work out all the curvature out of that. Just straighten everything out. And that should fix most of this area. In theory, at least. Actually, there's still a tiny little thing I want to fix here. I just felt like that was sliding just a tad, so I figured I'd slide it back up. And yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. So the entire side of this is changing somewhat. Let's see. Man, and this strand is just going in a completely different direction. Okay, so there's a lot to fix here. Let me see, what do I need to do first? I don't know. Okay, I just gotta stare at this very carefully and intently for a little bit. Figure out what is not quite working for me. Okay, I see a couple of things. Gonna uncover her face just a little bit over here. And in order to line that up, I'm also gonna need to do it in this area. So this is not the area I was expecting to be touching today, but here we are. I just wanted a little bit more of her cheek to show. And I think I need a little bit more of her forehead to show here, kind of around her eyebrows. Yeah, I don't think that this is quite perfect, and I think that this area is important enough that it's worth getting super perfect. There we go, and let's just thicken out the line there. Okay. Next up, I want to get this shape the way it should be. I'm not sure if it is yet. Yeah, it's kind of coming out a little bit. So I'm changing the angle of some stuff around there. Which tells me that I just need to pull this in a little bit more here. Doing my best to break this down into smaller pieces. Because, man, when I was looking at it before, I was just like, God, I don't even know where to start. It was very scary. Very intimidating. But I just had to stare at it for a second and scream internally for a moment. And then I could start figuring it out. Look. So, sometimes you just gotta do a little bit of internal screaming and then everything is fine. It works out. And I really do just feel like so much of it is changing shape there. When in doubt, consult the mesh. There's just something that is very much changing shape. But I don't really want to copy and paste the entire mesh, because that would mean I'd have to redo the top part, and I don't want to. I'd rather figure out what's going on here. Okay, then breaking down the next step, I think I might have pulled this highlight a little bit too far to the left. So I'm going to go pull it back just a little bit. Not going to worry about the textures underneath once again, I'm just worried about the highlight. Okay, the shape is wrong, but I think the location is a little bit better. Alright, yeah, I think it's getting there. I think it's getting there. Still feeling extremely intimidated by it all. Oh, like you wouldn't believe. But I think it is getting there. So now I just need to try to make this super straight again. Okay, that is so much better. Okay. Slowly but surely, I'm starting to dissect where these problems came from. Phew! Oh man, it's really hard when I just look at the area that I'm trying to work on and all I see is, oh goodness, literally everything is wrong. What do I do? Just literally everything. There is nothing right here. That's okay. I think think I got something going now. Okay, there we go. I think that actually is working out now. Still gonna get the bottom part down here, but this top part, I think I finally worked it out. Man, I'm looking at the time and I'm like, okay, maybe I won't be able to finish the corners today. The strand just had more wrong with it than I thought it did. It's really no wonder that I knew that I was gonna have to go back and redo those. If I was seeing all of this and just kind of putting it out of my mind so that I could focus on other areas. Because, yeah, the corners here, man, it's like I didn't think that the, cardinal direction angles were too bad, but the corners are all just super off, like every single one of them. I mean, my goodness. There's just a lot of bad stuff going on here. Even down here, I see it in this turn. Oh, yeah. Might be a bit slow going here. That's okay. I'll get there. And I think the side hair strands are worse off than some of the hair that goes further back, like these guys over here. So I'm hoping that once I get this done, everything else will go a little bit more smoothly and I can just finish off the hair and be happy. Finally get into some facial physics. I think for her, I just want to do some subtle eye physics. I don't think I really want to do anything with her mouth or anything. I'm keeping a lot of her facial expressions a lot more subdued than what I'd normally expect for a VTuber model, but I don't know, the super energetic, highly expressive type models that are popular, I just don't think suit Shalom very much. She's very quiet, unassuming, and subtly creepy. So I want to keep that. but I do think a little bit of eye physics can make her look just a little bit more lively. And honestly, I think talking about physics, something that I personally find very fun to do and fun to mess around with, is my current way of coping through this part that I'm just still internally screaming with. You gotta do what you gotta do. So just gonna think happy thoughts of things that make me happy. Like hair physics. And trying not to get too lost in everything here. Because I think it's easy to do. So very easy to do. I think yesterday I mentioned that a lot of the small details are tedious, but a lot of the time I still have fun. This is absolutely true. And then there's times where they're both tedious and I'm not quite sure what's going on and it is less fun. Those times do happen. And today is one such time. But it's okay, I'll get through it. It's for the sake of the art, you know? A little bit of crying while you art is normal. Okay, I think I've worked out all the way down to where all these highlights are. So now I'm gonna start working on that side too. This side I've kind of half gotten into place. But I think I made this part of the strand just a little bit too thin through here. Okay, now I think I will fix up this strand here. Figure out where it needs to live. Gosh, there's just so much wrong here. Okay, before I do that strand, I need to fix this. It's gonna bother me. So there's like a whole bunch of stuff here that's moving upward. I'm not entirely sure why, but you know, if I got a whole bunch of stuff moving upward, that tells me I gotta move it downward. So, maybe the why is not that important. Alright, is it at least not squirming up a storm vertically? It's a little better. It is a little bit better. Alright, everything is still pretty far off here, but it is at least not squirming vertically on me. Okay, so first thing I want to do, this little strand coming off here. That is my next step. Alright, let's see how that is. I'm looking at the time again and I'm like, you know, one of these days I need to just do a big marathon stream or something, where I just get food on stream, eat some stuff, and just go for a while. Or maybe even take a break for an hour and eat and then come back and go for a while longer. Because I just want to get all these things done, and man, today took a while. But I am ready to move on from head turns. I just cannot let go. I want everything to be pretty. And I want everything to move nicely. But getting it there is time-consuming and difficult. I might do something like that this weekend. Maybe on Saturday. Or maybe I just do a second stream a little bit later on Saturday. Either or, I'll figure it out. I'll think about it all this week. But regardless, I think this weekend you guys are going to get some extra content because I want to finish this. I want to finish this and do some more drawing. Okay, strand good. Now I can move on to the next strand. Which is gonna be this guy. This guy's still not quite right down here. Okay. There we go, just lining all that up perfectly. This is going to be an area that doesn't move quite as much, so I don't want this strand to be flopping around too much. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay. Now then, continuing down into kind of this strand area, it still just feels like this entire area right through here is just completely wrong. So let's see if I can work that out here. What is the first step I should take? Okay, well the top looks wrong, so that tells me that the entire strand here should come down a little bit further. Just like the whole thing. I think I was not nearly as picky as I should have been with some of these strands while I was working on it the first time, because man, just everything here is wrong. I think I'm actually going to fix down there at the same time here. It's because seeing all this squirm is going to make it totally impossible for me to do anything. So something like that. This is still wrong, but hopefully it is less wrong. Alright, that's gonna bother me, so we're gonna have some temporary bald spot here. Fortunately, it's like completely covered up. So there probably won't be much jump scares until I need to turn her head a different direction. Okay, I'm still gonna have to work on that strand. It is correct vertically, not so correct horizontally. Gotta consult the mesh here. Figure out which vertex is causing all my problems. Looks like it's just this one. Okay. Alright, I think that's looking a little bit better, so now let's look at this strand. I have them all lined up a little bit more nicely now, so hopefully I can see the problems and just gradually start getting them better. Okay, here we go. I just need this entire thing to come down a bit. Just all of it. Okay. Now right here needs to be a little bit straighter. So that tells me a combination of the center ones and the outer ones. Well, I do my best not to get too frustrated at all my little vertex friends. Because I'm feeling that today. It's honestly uncommon that I get a little bit tilted like this. And I do think that I'm deciphering it, so I mean, it's getting there. But I was hoping to be a little bit further along. And so I am a little bit sad. But such things happen. Okay, I think that's looking alright. Let me consult the mesh to get the last couple of parts that are not agreeing with me. See if I can kind of work that out. These parts are actually fairly okay, but they are the spots that I noticed, so I figured that I'd adjust them so they'd be out of my peripheral vision and I could just move the other ones a little bit more easily. Okay. Let's see how it's going. Because, man, this has been a time. Alright, so now the part that I'm looking at is there's this line where it starts coming off the side of her head there. And I need to get the angle on that line pointing in the right direction. So it needs to kind of point up there. It's closer, but not quite there. And there's still something going on over there that I'm gonna need to figure out. But I figured that I'd get this dark line going somewhere first. Who knows? Maybe getting this little shadow area looking the way that I want it to will give me some clues as to what's wrong. But I gotta say, for a part that started with what's wrong? Literally everything, to what I have now, well, it is definitely better. There is considerably less wrong. But there's still a lot. There's still a lot I'm gonna have to go through. I might not even get through the entire thing here. Because I can feel myself going slightly insane from working on the same parts over and over again. I might actually take a break from here. Yeah, I think I will, actually. Gonna take a break from there. Come back to it tomorrow. But I think before I stop, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at this one, too. Real quick. I just want to look at my 4 cardinal directions there. And try to fix some stuff going around there. No promises on whether I'll finish it, but I just want to see if there's a lot that I need to fix or if it's pretty close. To my somewhat sleepy eyes, the left turn is looking pretty good. Yes, I think I'm happy with the left turn. Gonna adjust the right turn just a little bit right through here. Okay, and that is controlled by a different layer, so let me see if this is closer to how I want it to be. Yes, I do need to tuck it in a little bit, so let's grab that other layer here and start pushing it along too. But I do think that this is a little bit better. Didn't need to move that much. But I think it follows the curve of her face a little bit better. And I do know that a bunch of stuff on the right is just always going to be a little bit off because of how I cut my layers. But I do think that's a little bit better. I think that looks pretty nice. And I actually still like the way the tips of the hair swing out like that. I did that on the left turn too with these guys, and I still like that. I really do. I think it looks good. I do feel a little bit better looking at something else for a little bit. Okay. Let's take a look at up and down. Just see something small that I want to fix here. I think I can see why I had it like that, but I think it'll look a little bit better if I move this highlight into a slightly better spot. There's just a little line of highlights going down here. I just wanted to carefully move them just a tad to the left. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, yeah, that seems pretty good. Alright, there's a little tiny line by her ears here that I think is moving up a little bit too high. So I'll slide this down just a little bit here. Doesn't need to go too far down, but I think it was a little bit too high. Yeah, that's a little bit better, and I think I want to poof this area out just a tad as well. Okay, yeah, I think that's doing a little bit better. Just had to fix that shape a little bit. Okay, I think at the bottom here I moved these little highlights just a little bit too much when I was fixing them earlier. So I'll push them a little bit back to the right and see how that does. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm checking the tips now, just down here. Yeah, I think they're looking pretty okay. So now let's check my downward turn. Okay, I see just a couple of problems on the tip here, but otherwise, I think it's looking pretty good. So it's barely possible that all the problems I had with these strands running down the side of her face there, and her side hair, was all just from the corners. But unfortunately, those corners are pretty hard. So I'm a little bit nervous. Hopefully I won't get quite as frustrated as I did today. Even if I don't show the frustration, I do feel like it affects my ability to see things. And it definitely makes me a bit more negative than I otherwise would, which makes it a bit hard to ramble because it means I have to keep a little bit more of a filter up. Like when I'm in a good mood, I can just talk and there's no problems at all. Because everything that comes out of, everything that's in my mind that comes out of my mouth is gonna sound nice. But when I start getting a little bit mad, I become a little bit less charitable. So I kind of have to think about what I say a little bit more. That's alright, it's nice to know that the bang on this side is indeed looking pretty okay. So hopefully... Yeah, and I can definitely see some problems in the corners. But hopefully I can fix some of that up soon as well, and maybe tomorrow I can finish up this area here and get more than one other one done. I would like that a lot. Oh gosh, but they're so wrong. Okay, the right side's not quite as bad. So who knows, maybe it's just the left side that's gonna give me a lot of trouble. And once I finish these, I'll just be over here and just be like, man, the right side is working out for me for once, instead of, I don't know, being annoying like it normally is. But I guess we'll find out when I start actually digging into that. And I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. Hopefully, with a bit less irritation than I did. I'll see you all tomorrow.